Hey, I'm Katie Seaver from the Dessert Club, and today I wanted to talk about the concept of natural antidepressants, how I came up with them, what mine are, and how you can come up with your own. So, before I get into any of that, I want to have a little aside and just say if you take actual antidepressants from your doctor, that obviously this is not a substitute for those. So, keep taking those pills as well. Great. So I came up with the idea of natural antidepressants this past winter when I was just going through a surprisingly, for me, long period of feeling really down. I am not somebody who's never had feelings. I have a lot of feelings. It doesn't really surprise me. Sometimes I feel sad or down or depressed. Often it's related to something, so then I'll try to talk to someone or resolve the issue or whatever. But sometimes it's just existential and you feel down for no reason, and I wait it out and usually it goes away in a day or two. But this kind of sort of feeling down and sad just seemed to go on, and it was kind of a bummer, to put it lightly. I would tell my friends that I was feeling down and I didn't know why, and I started seeing them multiple times and telling them the same thing each time. And at a certain point, I thought to myself, how long is this going to go on? And I got a little scared. So one day I was journaling about that and trying to really figure it out. And I had this bolt of insight. And it was almost like I was, on high talking to myself. And I was saying to myself, Katie, you need to leave the house to get your work done more, because I had started working from home. And you also need to spend less time browsing the internet because it's making you feel kind of insecure. And that's your natural antidepressant. Those are your pills that you have to take. And if you know what your pills are, and you don't take them, and you feel down, then it's your fault. And maybe it sounds kind of harsh when I tell it in that way, but it actually felt really empowering in that moment. It felt like, oh, I can make myself feel better. I just have to do these things. And if I don't, then it's my fault. So I did it. I did it that day. And magically, no one is shocked, I felt better when I left the house because I had been home working a lot. I'm really introverted and I love being alone. But at a certain point, it's not good for me. So left the house. And I also forced myself to spend almost no time except essential work time on the internet. I felt so much better that day, and I did it again the next day, and surprise, surprise, I felt way better. And I think that this was a really useful idea for me because it wasn't like I was a complete newbie to the concept of self-care. I have a lot of ritual. I had already had a lot of rituals that I did every day to feel better, like this daily journaling and walks and things like that. But somehow the concept that I might need a new prescription for this natural antidepressant was kind of big for me. It was like, this is the new thing that you have to do, and you have to do it, because if you don't, you will feel really bad. So I wanted to share it with you in case you need that kind of similar kick in the pants. Like, you know what you need to do. If you don't do it, if you don't take these pills, it's your fault if you feel down. So those are mine. I have to make sure that I'm out of the house for at least a couple hours every day working, and I have to stay off the internet too much. I call it having good internet hygiene. I mean, there's lots of studies that show that the more time we spend on sites like Facebook, the more we tend to feel badly about ourselves, and I find it to be true for me. I find those sites to be really inspiring and fun up to a point, but at a certain point, even without sort of explicitly realizing it, I start to kind of feel bad. So good internet hygiene and getting out of the house. Those are mine. I want to invite you now to take a couple of minutes to, after this video ends, to just sit down with a piece of paper and think about what yours might be. They might be things that you immediately know and are obvious, like you have to get enough sleep or you have to eat some nutritious food, or they might be a little bit more subtle, like you need to make sure that you're dressing yourself so that you feel professional or pretty or whatever it happens to be. But think about what they are so that you can have them in the back of your mind and you can take those pills whenever you start to feel bad. Because I know for myself, I mean, for example, I do love browsing the internet. I love being on blogs or whatever. And sometimes I'll do that more than I should, and I'll start to feel down, and I'll think to myself, Katie, you know what's going to make you feel better. You just need to get off the internet. And I do for a day or two or weeks, and I feel so much better. So that's my offering for you this weekend. Figure out what your natural antidepressants are and take them. I hope it's useful. If you like this video, there's a lot more like it at dessertclub.com. And I'll see you next time.